would be almost like a dialogue between myself and Honorable Abdullahi Abdulkadir, who represents Ningi Warji Federal Constituency of Bauchi State. I hope I'm getting that right. If I am not doing the pronunciation right, please forgive me. And you know, Nigeria is a huge country, so we try as much as possible to be pan-Nigerian. Yeah, so we're happy to have you once again. And for me, I would give you an opportunity to make a general commentary on the state of affairs, you know, of your constituency. What I mean by this is that we are living in interesting times. There are lots of restrictions due to COVID-19. Many people are not able to live their normal lives, and so they have been deprived and denied. You know, so constituents generally, Nigerians generally, look up to leaders like yourself for succor, for encouragement, whether you like it or not, and also for palliatives. You know, so give us a general sense of affairs, of state of affairs in your constituency, and maybe generally in the country. Honorable Abdullahi.
First of all, I will have to admit that the quality of the audio is very poor. So most of your questions, I did not get them. And but I believe you are trying to make a general comment as regards the situation we find ourselves occasioned by the COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic. Nigeria is not an island on its own. We are living within the community of nations. So this COVID-19, as it is called, a novel coronavirus, it is a situation, an unfortunate situation that has caught us off guard. And really, even the developed countries are struggling to live with this new situation in the world. Having said that, we can see the impact already, the consequences of COVID-19 on the economy, on our lifestyle, and governance as well. So it is really a situation that is not well prepared for, and as a result, we are dealing with a lot of problems in the country as we speak. But we thank God the impact is it's not as it was felt in the first instance. But having said that, the government has rolled out its machineries, especially through the Presidential Task Force and the House of Representatives in particular, and the National Assembly in general, have also been running from pillar to post to see that we give our own contribution in containing this emerging scenario in our country. So it is a work in progress, the COVID-19 issue, and I believe with the cooperation of the citizens and with the unflinching determination of the government, and that is the three arms of government and even non-governmental actors, I believe we are going to come out of this pandemic stronger, and it's going to be a lesson for us to really have our systems in a very strong position so that we'll be able to respond to any emerging, and not only disease, to any emerging disaster in the future.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abdullahi. I think that's a broad opening comment, and we appreciate that. So let's go to specifics. Nigerians in across the country, northeast, west, you know, in the various nooks and crannies of the country, are looking up to leaders. And when I say leaders, not just governments, not just the federal government, not just the state governments, not just the local council administrations. They're looking to leaders like yourselves. They are looking to those who are thought leaders, opinion leaders, who are political office holders and all of that, you know, to show more philanthropy, to show more charity, you know, to be able to help them wade through these difficult moments. in Ningi Waraji Federal Constituency, which you represent, can you give us a clearer picture of how your good self you have been able to impact your constituency with respect to alleviating the pains of COVID-19 for your constituents? And the easy reference is palliatives. Have you done anything specific respect to personal donations or personal interventions in your constituency, for instance?
Like I said earlier on, honestly, it's very difficult for me to get what you are trying to say, because the audio quality is very, very poor. I have not really captured what you have said, but the last thing you talked about donation or something like that. Let me just give you also another generic approach to the COVID-19 by legislators. When this COVID-19 set in, like I told you, the first thing we did in the House of Representatives after shutting down, before shutting down, we passed a piece of legislation. That is the Economic Emergency Stimulus Bill. And I thought that bill is needed because we were expecting the COVID-19 will come along with very negative consequences. And first among which is the issue of employment, jobs. We thought because there are a lot of businesses that employ people because they are dealing with customers on a daily or monthly basis, and they generate their revenue therefrom, and it is this revenue that is used in offsetting the wage bill, in offsetting other overhead and what have you. And then suddenly the business stopped because of COVID-19. So we now said, okay, for all businesses, for all companies that maintain their workforce from the 1st of March till the 30th of June, they should be exempted from, not exempted, they should be given a tax relief for that period. So that is one of the ways we use in encouraging people to retain their workforce. And then secondly, we thought of default for people who are exposed to the federal mortgage loans. So we now also, as a kind of law, we said the federal mortgage bank should extend a moratorium to people who are already exposed to their loans. I remember when we were about to pass that law, we had a lot of complaints or a lot of suggestions that we should extend it to the commercial banks. But we came to the conclusion that we shouldn't be seen as regulating businesses direct, because we have the regulatory bodies. So we shouldn't come up and ask the banks they should do this or they shouldn't do that. The best we can do is to persuade them a kind of a sort of moratorium. And I think the central bank on its part has also rolled out a lot of intervention measures, the 50 billion COVID fund and the 100 billion aim to strengthen the capacity of the health related businesses and what I do. So these are some of the things that have been done in general, and in particular, we at the level of our house, we decided to donate our 2-month salary to the COVID-19 relief fund, and also individually members have been engaging their constituents in terms of donating relief materials, in terms of donating hand sanitizers, in terms of donating food items, in terms of doing a lot to our constituents to cushion the effect of the COVID-19. So a lot has been done, and a lot is still being done by the members. And I believe our constituents are appreciative of what we have been doing. But it's just like I told you, this is something that's caught us off guard. We didn't plan for it, and it came. So we just have to manage the situation so that we can be able to help order to make life more meaningful even while facing the pandemic.
Thank you. It's indeed a struggle to hear you clearly, and you have also indicated that you are not hearing me clearly. So I would appeal, if there's something that the back end folks can do about this audio issue, would appreciate. So Honorable can hear me clearly, and I can hear him clearly, and I believe the audience too can also hear clearly this interaction, because they need to be able to join in. And so if they have not listened clearly, it will be difficult to join in and make meaningful contributions to this meeting. Yeah, so while they are doing that, Honorable, the question is, I commend the House of Reps for taking the steps that they have taken. You have mentioned the emergency economic stimulus bill. They are also taking a step along the line of reenacting the Quarantine Act, with a new name this time, the Control of Infectious Diseases Bill. These are two critical steps that the House of Representatives has taken. Two questions here. Why is it that since March that the House of Representatives passed the economic stimulus bill, the Senate is here to concur, right? This is March that this bill was passed, just before you went on that recess you took. What is delaying a concurrence from the Senate? That's the first question. Secondly, let me allow you to answer this question first. What is your sense? What do you think is responsible for the delay in having the Senate concur to this economic stimulus bill by the House of Representatives? Honorable, you need to unmute your mic. We are not hearing. We are not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Like I said, the National Assembly is a bicameral legislature, and we have two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. And these two houses have coordinate jurisdiction, and each of the houses has right, to legislate on any matter that is deemed it is for the good governance of the country. So the emergency economic stimulus bill is just one of such legislation that either of the houses can come up with, and then once the processes have been fulfilled, it will now be released to the other house. And it is not for one house to determine or decide or even ask the other house how to go about doing the business. But it is expected, like you said, and I believe like most Nigerians will have expected us to act. People have expected that by now the Senate should have passed the economic emergency stimulus bill. But all I can tell you now is that we have already done our part, we have done our bit, and we have sent it to the Senate. We are waiting for its concurrence. When they are going to do the concurrence, I don't know. Why they did not do it until this moment, I don't know. Maybe you may have to reach out to our colleagues in the Senate to find out the reason. And like I told some people earlier on, they are saying, why the rush? Why do we have this economic stimulus bill? Why are we going to do it in piecemeal? In fact, maybe some people are alluding to that fact that maybe the Senate wanted a situation where we have a comprehensive stimulus bill rather than the piecemeal that we have started. But I believe to have gone on a very long recess without leaving anything for Nigerians, for us in the House of Representatives, we thought that will be an irresponsible action. So that was why we came up with the first legislation. And I also refer people to what is happening in the able developed countries of the world. Take, for example, the United States. We have so many things in common with the United States. That's why we used to make reference to them. The United States till now, they have passed at least 2 to 3 legislations regarding this COVID-19 pandemic in order to intervene in the economy. And still, till now, they are planning, the House of Representatives of the United States is planning to come with yet another bill. So you can see it's not, well, it is not given that we must have one single legislation that should cover everything about the pandemic, because it is in which case we don't know fully its characteristics. But all we are trying to do, and all the one is trying to do, is to grapple with the situation, working with the situation, managing it as it comes. So we cannot fold our arms around it and say, okay, until we understand the whole dimension, the whole dynamics of the pandemic before we come up with a response. So that was why the House of Representatives quickly did that, and we did with the best of intentions, with Nigerians in our mind, and we didn't want to leave people to their fate. So that was why we did that. So I believe something is going to come up very soon from the Senate, and we'll move on from there.
I have tried to read your lips because it has been an increasing struggle to hear you. It is perhaps some difficulty from your network connection. You may want to check that. Perhaps you may also consider the options of speaking without the earpiece. Maybe that might be helpful. But what I hear you say is that the Senate is not able, you are not able to determine what goes on in the Senate, that you have played your parts in the House of Representatives, you have passed the bill. So the ball is now in the court of the Senate to do its bits. So why I acknowledge that that is true and correct, you cannot influence them. You cannot dictate to them when to pass the bill and all that. But for me, and for many of observers who are watching, some of whom are watching this, it could be a question of intra-parliamentary relations. You know, we are a bicameral legislature in this country, and so would expect some bit of a smoother relationship between, you know, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Considering the speed with which the House passed that bill, it was taken first, second, and third reading same day. I remember very clearly. One would have thought that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria would have, as much as possible, you know, put in some speed. But here we are, almost March, April, May, almost 3 months. We haven't seen that bill come through in the Senate. So is this, do you think that this has something to do with perhaps there is not enough intra-parliamentary relations, if I may use that phrase, between the Senate and the House of Representatives?
Well, like I said in my explanation, some people are of the belief that we should have a comprehensive piece of legislation to address the COVID-19 issue. Perhaps that is the reason why, because afterwards, after the passage of the bill at the level of the House of Representatives, I believe you have seen how the leadership of both houses have been engaging the key players of the economy. I believe you have seen meetings where the leadership of the House and the leadership of the Senate engaged the Minister of Finance, the Central Bank Governor, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the Accountant General of the Federation, and what have you, the key players in the economy. So they had series of meetings together. So that, to that extent, I wouldn't say that it's a question of lack of inter-parliamentary relationship. But like I said, the best people to answer this question is the same. Because, for example, if you take the budget, you pass the budget, there are differences, we had a conference, differences were resolved. And we passed it again, and it was sent to the president for assent. Now we received the revised budget. I believe the same thing is going to happen to it. And there are other several bills, several legislations. So, for example, the Contract Sharing Act, which we did almost the same time, and it was able to take it to the president, Mr. President, when he was even out of the country, and he signed it outside the shores of the country and things like that. Those things are coming. I can't agree that we have a friction, if you want to put it. I don't think it's a friction. Maybe I think it's about the philosophy, the understanding behind that piece of legislation. But I believe very soon it's going to be resolved and we are going to be better for it for having that legislation.
Honorable Abdullahi, let's bring this conversation a bit down home. It's going to be 1 year next week since you were inaugurated as a member of the Ninth House of Representatives. And this is about a period where that is up for stock taking. What would you tell your constituents who are listening and watching you this minute that you have been able to do in the last 1 year? You know, you want to make a mention of the motions that you successfully moved, of the bills that you have presented, and what stages are those bills in the House of Representatives, for instance. Give us a snapshot of your scorecard in the last 1 year in the House of Representatives, sir.
Thank you very much. As you are aware, being a member of the Parliament, it has its own responsibilities, and the three major functions of the legislature is representation, lawmaking, and oversight. So now, if we start from representation, number one, I have tried as much as possible to the best of my ability to see that I attend all the plenaries that have been done with the exception of few, and the various committees where I have been assigned to work, I have been attending regularly. So that way, I have been trying to fulfill my responsibility of representing my constituency. That is one aspect to it. And another aspect of that is also to air the yearnings and aspirations of my people. And when we came, I presented two bills seeking for the establishment of two institutions in my constituency. One is the Federal College of Education, which is supposed to be established in Niji. Unfortunately, the federal government has acted.
Honorable Abdullahi, 1 minute, sir. One second, sir. Sorry to interrupt. You know, this question is very important for us and for your constituents who are watching back home. And the feedback I'm getting is that the audio is still not very good enough. I am struggling to hear, and many people are also struggling to hear. May I request, sir, that you leave the conversation and rejoin? Can you leave the meeting and rejoin? Let's see if we can sort a few things here. And why you also maybe restart your network. If you just exit for a minute and rejoin, we'll be here waiting to have you back, sir. I don't know, let's try that and let's see how it works. So while we are waiting to have Honorable Abdullahi back with us, this is a request to members of the audience, especially those of us who are from Ningi YG Federal Constituency of Bauchi State who may be watching this program. It's about sharing the scorecard in the last 1 year. We'd like for you to speak to some of these. Generally, we'd like for members of the audience to ask their questions, to begin to type in their questions, to begin to send in their comments, to begin to share, you know, whatever contributions that they want to make. I would request that you say your name or type your name and the area, the part of the country you are representing or you are speaking from. If you want to mention the organization that you represent, that's fine. But make it quite brief, as briefly as possible. While we're waiting for him to come, you may begin to share your questions and comments. You know, I have said that the question that's I just asked before we advised that he exits and rejoins is very critical. So I wanted everyone to get a clear understanding of his comments to that question. I think we have Honorable Abdullahi back with us. Honorable, you back with us? Yes, I can see you, Honorable. So if you don't mute your mic and begin to speak, hopefully it should be clear now.
So, like I was saying, the key functions of a legislature is that of representation, lawmaking, and oversight. And like I was saying, I have tried my best to be representing my constituents adequately in the National Assembly and the House of Representatives. And through that representation, I have been making the yearnings of my constituents heard in the National Assembly. I proposed 2 bills seeking to establish colleges of education in Ningi and that of agriculture in Warwick. Unfortunately for me and for my constituents, the federal government came up with a policy of establishing 6 colleges of education across the country, and Bauchi happened to be one of the states that benefited, but the location where it has been cited is different. It's not in my constituency, so it's like technically we have missed out on that. But before the government came up with this decision, I was promoting or sponsoring a bill which has been read for the first time and second time on the floor of the House of Representatives. Likewise, a bill seeking to establish a college of agriculture in Warwick. And mind you, these colleges of education and agriculture, I was hoping to have them established in my constituency. We don't have either of them in Bauchi State prior to the recent decision of the federal government to cite a federal college of education in January in Bauchi State. So that was why I felt we needed to move and seek for that gap to be filled. And one is gone now, but we're hoping, strongly hoping that from the bill that we have presented, the Federal College of Agriculture, which we do not have in Bauchi State, and Bauchi State being an agrarian state, we are hoping strongly that the bill seeking to establish the Federal College of Agriculture is going to sail through. And apart from the bills, I have also presented a number of motions on the floor of the House regarding some issues that happened in my constituency. There was a time we had an outbreak of a strange disease in Ningi local government, and particularly in Bura district, where a lot of people died due to a strange disease. And we presented a motion, and I made an effort. I went to National Center for Disease Control, and I presented my case, and the House also referred the motion to the center. And to the glory of God, the center swung into action by dispatching a team of our doctors and a team of medical. They went to the local government and they went to the affected areas, and they gave treatments, and people who were released and their deaths came to a halt. And we believe, and people are very happy about that. And we thank God, and we thank the institution of the House of Representatives for helping us to offer a solution to the problems of our people. Also, at the level of my committee, that is the Public Accounts Committee, where I deputize, we were going through the audit reports and audit queries, and we realized that a lot of government agencies, a lot of NDAs are without audited accounts. So I now approach the House again, asking the House to give us an extra impetus to invite or to have a kind of public hearing, investigative public hearing, to uncover why MDAs have not been renting their audited accounts, because it's supposed to be the basis of all anti-corruption fight in this country, because that will expose what has been happening in the MDAs. But to our greatest dismay, we realize that a lot of MDAs do not even have this um, um, this audited accounts. So the work was still ongoing before the COVID-19 pandemic set in. As soon as we are back, we're going to continue from where we stopped. We are even about rounding up the activity before the COVID-19 pandemic has started. So these are some of the things that we have done, and we have been contributing to a lot of motions that we have interest. And at the level of committees, you know, plenary is an aspect of the parliament, but where the real work happens is at the level of committees, because for most legislation, majority of legislation, when they come, be them in motions, form of bills, they are usually referred to committees, the relevant committees for further legislative work. Most of these committees are not sometimes even unnoticed, except for people who know about the workings of the parliament. So we have also been doing our best to make our contributions. I'm a member of several committees, member of about 8 to 9 committees, and each and every committee, I've been trying my best to see that I attend meetings, I make contributions, and we make recommendations to the House to take a decision. At the level of oversight, we, like I told you, we have been doing a lot also in terms of oversight. We have been going to different places, going to different offices. The last count I had was about over 10 places that we have been to for oversight. I know we have been to, I am a member of the Nigerian Content Development Committee. We've been to DPR, we've been to Nigerian Immigration Service, we've been to the Dangote, what do you call it? The Dangote refinery in Lekki, in Lagos. We've been to we have been to a lot of places under the Nigerian Content Committee. We are about going to Port Harcourt to one company, because essentially what we do in the Content Committee is to look at compliance, because we have the Logic Act. This Logic Act is it targets the oil and gas sector. It's a kind of trying to build the local capacity of Nigerians in terms of human resources, and also in terms of businesses. And from what we have seen from the retreat we had in Lagos, from the presentation we had with the Nigerian Content Monitoring Board, we are quite impressed with the progress that is going on in that sector. And in fact, it is because of that, recently another legislation has been proposed to the House, and it is also now at the level of the second reading, that is trying to extend this content, this local content philosophy, to other sectors of the economy, like power, like telecommunications, like construction, like banking, like insurance, and what have you. Because the success, it is a success story in the oil and gas. It can do better even as we speak, but we believe from what it has done, it is good for Nigerians. We have seen very complex assignment, very complex projects handled by Nigerians. For example, there is this pipe laying in Lagos. It was handled by one company, I've forgotten the name, but we are really impressed. A lot of things are happening in the oil and gas industry courtesy of this Logic Act. So that was why we felt it should be extended to other sectors of the economy, because of the effect that it will have on the economy, because of the impact that it will have, because we believe jobs will be created, businesses will be will boom, and what have you. So there was going to be a lot of effect. There's going to be more life on the economy. So that is, and then if you also check the committee, another committee I belong, that is the Maritime Committee, Maritime Education, Safety and Administration. Also, we have been to the Maritime Headquarters, and don't forget, we have passed one budget cycle. All of these agencies that we are oversighting, they have to, or yeah, they have appeared before us for the budget defense. I'm also a member of Northeast Development Committee on Northeast Development Commission, and incidentally, I'm from one of the northern eastern states, that is Bauchi State, and we have to engage with them, and we are about also to go on a retreat with the commission in Gombe when this COVID-19 steps in. So there are a lot of things we are doing at the committee level that are not able to compare with what is happening at the plenary. So that is how the parliament works. And because the lawmaking I just mentioned to you about the bills I presented and the participation and the contribution to other bills presented by other members. So this is how we have been doing so far. And this is my first year in the National Parliament. I came from the State Assembly actually, from my state House of Assembly. So we believe we are going to build on this little successes that we have recorded so far. And in terms of also representation, in terms of constituency outreach, we have been trying our best. I believe in the last 1 year that I've been here, I have engaged with my constituency for about 5 to 6 times. When I say engage, I don't mean a simple visit to the constituency, even though that can also be counted as constituency engagement. But in terms of having a formal setting where we sit down with the members of the constituency to discuss issues and then to offer some kind of little assistance to them where we can possibly do. We have done a lot of women empowerment, youth empowerment. We have started with the lowest strata of the constituency, where we identify people that needed a little seed capital, and we have disposed that to them. And we are also pursuing the interests of our constituents in terms of securing federal appointments. We have also been to several ministries, departments, and agencies, writing letters, intimating them about our peculiar needs. We have acute water shortage in Minkin headquarters of my constituency. We have ecological problem in the headquarters of the local government. We have bridges that have been cut off, that have been flattened, that have been washed away by water and what have you. So we have made our efforts to see that these problems are being contained in the plans of the federal government to come to the aid of the communities within my constituency. So thus far, this is what we have been doing, and some things that I cannot be able to recollect at the moment. And we are hoping to build a more even effective strategy to bring in development to my constituency and to the country at large.
Robert Abdullahi, congratulations. I mean, this is a lot that you have done, a lot that you have said. And noting that you are a first-time member. This is your first tenure in the House of Representatives, even though you are an experienced parliamentarian. In the balance of parliament, they will say you're a ranking member. I mean, because you have legislative experience already, you know. But you know, for me, the question now would be, there's not, you can never have too much to do for your people with respect to education. So it's impressive that you have sponsored 2Bs respect to establishing institutions of higher learning in your constituency. But there is something that may be a worry. I don't know if you have thought of it. Government is currently reviewing the Oronsaye report to cut down the number of government agencies, ministries, and departments possibly. And so this may not be the best of time to push for the establishment of new institutions or new departments and agencies of governments. Do you think that this move to reduce the size and cost of governance by the federal government would affect these your 2 critical Bs, which I believe your flagship, you know, achievements in the last 1 year in the House of Representatives? Are you concerned? Are you worried?
Yeah, actually, I'm worried. But like I told you, one of the bills had already been overtaken by events. because the federal government has cited the Federal College of Education we are hoping to get in Ningi, my constituency. It has been cited in another constituency, so this has already been overtaken by events. But the other bill which seeks to establish a Federal College of Agriculture and Technology, partly I would say that I'm worried because of the visits of the Oro signing report by the federal government. And but in another way, if you look at it, at the same time, while the government is trying to do this, on the other hand, government is trying to diversify the economic base of the country, and agriculture is the first target of the federal government. So, and in trying to diversify to agriculture, we cannot overemphasize the need to have agri institutions in place. So if you look at the whole of Bauchi State, we do not have a federal institution that is dedicated to agricultural research and training. So having that in Bauchi will go a long way in fulfilling the ambition of the federal government of diversifying the economy through training and retraining of agricultural extension workers and research into agricultural inputs and implements and what have you. So it's a 50-50 situation. It can go either way.
How often do you meet with your constituents? You spoke about having formal meetings with them, you engage with them. Are you able to tell us how often? Do you meet with them quarterly, every month? You know, how often do you go home, for instance, and how often do you meet with them? And what kind of feedback do you get from them in the last 1 year? Are they impressed with your stewardship?
Well, let me start from the last part of the question. Whether they are impressed by my stewardship, that I will leave to the constituent to answer. I don't want to be seen to be blowing my own trumpet. But the feedback, on a very sincere note, the feedback we have been receiving has been very positive. But I bet you, I guarantee you, I am not resting on my oars, because I believe I have been highly honored by my people to have elected me out of several thousands of constituents. Ningiwati is a very large constituency with a very high population. On a conservative note, we are more than 500,000 people in that constituency. And for me to be singled out to come and represent those hundreds of thousands of good people of Ningi and what the federal constituency, it is an honor done to me that I will eternally remain grateful. And so I will not rest on my oars, God willing. I will keep on trying to get sources of development to bring about development to my constituency and to the country in general. And talking about the regularity of my visit to my constituency, like I said earlier, I can't remember the exact number, because what I just told you about 5 to 6 times is like the formal or semi-formal gatherings that we had from my inauguration to date. And even if not for this COVID and the protocols of the COVID, I had planned to celebrate my my Salah festival with my constituents. When I was in the state assembly, that's what I did. I kept on moving from one ward to another. The 4 years I spent in the state house of assembly, I spent them in I spent my Salah activities, my Salah celebration in 4 different ones, and the people were extremely happy, because they told me that was the first time they were witnessing something like that. And I felt I was not doing anything extraordinary, because when I was trying to get votes, there was no nook or cranny of the constituency that I have not been to. So I believe now that I'm in the state assembly, when I was in the state assembly, during Salah, it was time to get off work and come and celebrate and rejoice with either my family or my people. And I have been doing that with my family for a long time. So I decided to go to my people. I had the same plan to do it in the federal federal constituency. But last year, I was part of the delegation that went to Hajj from the House of Representatives. And unfortunately, this year, COVID-19 came in. I just pray that before the next comes, which is in about 2 months' time, we pray that COVID should be reduced significantly and the protocols are relaxed also significantly, so that I will leverage on that opportunity to go and join my people. But for now, since the beginning of COVID, I've been trying to respect the protocols of not traveling, of not going across the interstate and what I do. So for now, I'm keeping some distancing, and I believe I've been advising, I've been making a lot of messages, I've been making, even during the fasting, a lot of palliative stuff on what I do, and we're keeping very snap to the constituency as much as we can do.
Yeah, so one of the things that COVID-19 has made us do, or has made us become, is to go the extra mile and be creative, look for ways to beat the virus and live our lives. And this is one of such ways. This meeting is virtual. You and I are talking, you are seated in your office, I can see. I am in a different location. Nigerians are watching us from different parts of the country, probably different parts of the world. You know, so there is a value in the use of technology and social media. In other words, the question is, with the constraints that COVID-19 has thrown up with respect to constituency interfaces and interventions, are you considering, or have you engaged technology, social media, or what other creative ways are you looking, assuming COVID-19 stays longer and we have these restrictions, you know, imposed for a longer period of time than we thought? You know, are we going to keep away, just maintain social distance completely from our constituents and constituency? You know, so, I mean, thinking ahead, what are your thoughts regarding, you know, bridging the gap that has been created by COVID-19 between yourself and the constituency and constituents that you represent? You need to unmute your mic, sir. We do not hear you.
Thank you very much for the question. You know, as it is called, we're now living in the information age. And information age comes along with certain tools that makes the age practical. That is one of the tools is the social media. And we are going to leverage what I've been doing, and we are going to do more in leverage in terms of leveraging on the social media advantage we are having right now by having virtual meetings, by having conferences online, and what have you. That is one. And secondly, a group of students, an association of students actually, they approached me, they sent me a proposal, a very dynamic, a very good proposal. That since students are at home, even in terms of like an extra moral activity, why not we have a kind of radio program that is using the conventional media outlets. We have a kind of radio program where we bring in the teachers to come and be teaching them through the radio. And I believe when I was a kid, when I was growing up, this issue of adult education, some of the outlets they used was the conventional radio. So I felt it was a very good thinking and a very good idea. I wanted to sponsor it, but later, after 2 days after submitting the proposal, they now came back to me and they told me that the state government has also agreed to embrace that idea. So that they are very grateful for showing interest in their proposal, and I believe it's on now. So these are kind of the ways that we can use to break the rank of the social distance, if I may say. And we believe, like we have been saying, it's a novel case. At regular intervals, we are having protocols dished out by the presidential task force and other agencies of government that are charged to handle the coronavirus case. So I believe with some easing of lockdowns and easing of the protocols, we are going to overcome this setback we have in terms of reaching out to our constituents.
I mean, it's a learning curve for everyone. We're all trying our best to stay ahead of this crisis as much as we can. Now, as we begin to wind down on this conversation, Honorable Abdullahi, I'm expecting some questions and comments to come from the audience. I haven't quite seen any. You know, we still are battling with the challenge of connection and audio. So maybe that's why we have that situation. But as we wind down, let me allow you project into the next 1 year of your stewardship. What do you think you want to be counted for as a member of the House of Representatives in the next 1 year? Because by next year, it will be midterm of your 4-year term in the House of Representatives. What are your aspirations, you know, at halftime?
Yeah, thank you very much. By the special grace of God, next year by now, if God spares our life and still alive, I hope by this time around to have to do more to my people, to do more to the constituency, and to do more to the nation, and to do more to humanity. We would like a situation whereby we have already started an empowerment program. Like I told you, I've started from the lowest strata of our constituents, people that needs a very small seed capital. We have been doing that. The target is to, like example, for women, we have an ambition of empowering about 10,000 women in the constituency in 4 years' time. So now we have, because of so many challenges, we're only able to do 1,000 women, 1,000 youths, and then about 600 students were given scholarship. So we are hoping that we will replicate or even double what we have done in the past 1 year. And like I told you, we have certain persistent problems in the constituency, and we are working seriously and we are working very hard for that matter to see that we have laid the foundation of solving this problem, the problem of water supply in Ningi. Ningi, the headquarters of Ningi local government, is a town with almost more than 100,000 inhabitants, and yet we don't have a robust water supply system in the town. So we're working hard. I've contacted our HMRI and the Ministry of Water Resources to come to our aid to reactivate the Comatose water supply system project that we had, which had not really functioned actually. It was constructed, but because of poor design, the wells were constructed on the river. And because of properties that the river was coming up with, they collapsed the wells, and the water supply was not coming. So now we are working with the HMRI Development Authority to redesign the construction of the wells so that we're looking at the possibility of coming out of along the banks of the river, because India has a kind of peculiar problem of the water level is very deep. So it's not something that you just dig some few meters and you strike water. No, you have to go down deeper. So that is why that system of tapping from the river was used, but it has not really it does not work. So but the regulation is there. The other aspects, the tanks are there. So now we are working hard. We are really working hard to see that we have brought back this to life. And then already we have an ambition of laying the foundation or even executing the whole project of the ecological concerns in Origi, Katango, Origi, headquarters of Origi local government. Already we are working with the Federal Ministry of Environment. Even in this year's budget, we had a line had been established for us for that project, but the amount of money that was allocated to that is very minimal. But hopefully this time around, we're going to make increased allocation to that. And then I hope to sponsor more students, because I have biased for students at the tertiary level. I'm not saying that basic education is not important, but you realize that there's a lot of effort, concerted effort by the government. We have UBEC and what have you that are trying or really working hard to virtually make basic education close to free. So, but it's not the same thing in the tertiary institutions, tertiary education. We are grappling with a lot of students reaching out to us to help them pay their school fees and whatever. So that's why we introduced that scholarship. But we realized because of the enormous number of people undergoing tertiary studies, we had to put a kind of criteria. You know, we had to use people it is people on 3 points and above that we are able to give, and we even at that we are able to get about 600 students. So we are trying to see if we can lower it to 2 points and above. One way it will encourage students to be hardworking also in school, because they know there is something for them if they have reached that 2 points or 3 points at this now. So this is also another area we're trying hard to see. And also we have a School of Health Technology in Ningi. We are trying to see that they don't have hostels. It's actually an institution of the state government, but we are working around the clock to see that we get resource intervention for the construction of hostels, dormitories in the school. Because if you are passing by on the Ningi road, you see them trekking from very far distances coming to the school, and that must have stressed them before coming to the classes. So we believe it will reduce their level of concentration in the classes, and the overall quality of education they are supposed to get is at the moment is not at the best of level. So if we have this hostels constructed within the school, I believe it's going to go a long way in helping the students to be more productive and to be more meaningful to the society upon graduation. And also, as we speak now, we have acquired a site and we intend to make it an ICT hub, an ICT center, where we are going to train a lot of students on ICT. Like you said now, we are doing this meeting virtually. And we believe our people should have these skills too. Now, even JAM, WAEC, NICO, and what have you, mostly they are migrating, or they have even migrated to the CBT, computer-based testing. So, I was told by also another group of people from Warji, they told me that part of the reason why our students are not doing well is because of their inferior ICT skills. So when they come to the exams, instead of them to grapple with the real questions of the exams, they are rather grappling with how to use the tools, the ICT tools. So for that reason, we have acquired one site now in Ningi, and it's going to be part of my 1-year anniversary. It's going to be unveiled on 11th. Today we are starting on the 11th of June. In Ningi, we have about 20 computers with a VSAT, with 20 computer monitors with VSAT, with UPS, with solar batteries, solar panels to guarantee power supply to the center. And we want to also, anyway, I don't want to preempt, I want to constitute an implementation committee to cut across the different segments of the society that are related to education and ICT, so that they give me advice. But for me, I have a bias of prioritizing women, prioritizing women to come and have ICT skills. So we also have a similar center in Warji. After finishing that of Ningi, we're going to move to Warji. And from my own part of the federal constituency, that is Bora, we also had a structure that we started working in the state assembly, and this has also given me it has given me light to combat. I was trying to donate that structure I was building in my part of the constituency to NYSC, people coming to do NYSC to have to be like an accommodation for them. But now I'm going to convert it to the ICT center also, so that students will come and get our youth, our coming up our youth and students will come and get ICT skills for their own personal development and for the development of the society. So these are some of the plans I have, and we have been playing politics with caution, and we are also we are not entertaining drugs. People who are drug addicts, we don't encourage that, and we'll keep on along that path. And we are also very sensitive to the law and order. I've told my people that if they are in my support, if they are behind me, they should be law abiding, they should be, and so far so good. They are living with my own vision, and they believe that the way we are running our politics is better, rather than having fights here, fight there, having people removing their sense, giving them drugs, giving them this. That is not the style of politics to play, and really people are. But like I said, I don't want to blow my own trumpet. Maybe I do investigative stuff. You can get across to people in my constituency. It's very easy to do it these days, and I believe you get feedback.
I like the smile on your face when you say that. I'm sure that there are those out there who would pick up this challenge and try to investigate some of the claims that you are making. We are winding down. I'm going to ask you one more question and allow you to make a closing remark. And this question is a throwback to your days in the State House of Assembly in Bauchi. There's a report that I saw that you had moved a bill, you had sponsored a bill for the return of looted funds to the states. I don't have the details of that bill. But what is the position? Was that bill successful? Was it implemented? If it was successful, what motivated you? Can you give us, from the benefit of hindsight, what was the intention of that bill and what did they achieve?
Okay, thank you very much. What happened? I told you I was a member of the State Assembly, and I was part of the principal officers. I was the deputy majority leader. And bill, we have about two major types of bills. We have the government, or we call it the executive bill, and then we have the private member bill, right? So now, as the deputy majority leader, any communication that comes from the government, the majority. If you have majority leader, the majority leader is the liaison between the assembly and the government. So whatever communication they have, whatever deal they have, whatever agenda they have, the government has, it's usually it's through the majority leader that is presented to the House. That is how the parliament works, and you can find this. You can find out in different places, all the states. You can find out even at the national level. That's what happens. So the executive actually sent us a bill to establish tribunal to prosecute people who have been charged, or who have been investigated, and people who have money issues with the government. So now the executive sent us that bill earlier in the life of our assembly, in the assembly in Bauchi, and we considered it and we passed that bill. And even before that bill, it was a committee that the government set up. And when that committee came, the administration of the former governor before the 15th governor of Bauchi, that is Governor Isa, they rushed to the court, and the court quashed the activities of the committee. So the government now felt, okay, let them come by way of tribunal. But even at that, when they came, there were a lot of agitation that is not the way to go. You can use that tribunal. You have to go through the normal course to prosecute any person that is found wanting or is suspected to be wanting. So, but that tribunal law was passed, but the tribunal was not used for a single day. It was not even established. It was not even constituted. The tribunal was not constituted, let alone people be prosecuted in that tribunal. So when we are winding up, the same executive, I told you it was an executive bill sent us by the executive. The same executive sent the bill again to the House, asking us to unbundle that tribunal. Maybe because the government felt it was going So, and it created that, and now it doesn't want to go anywhere. And it's not the only thing. There is also the what do you call it? The local government chieftaincy law. When we came also, we inherited one which we unbundled, and then the government sent us another one to create certain or to regulate certain chieftaincy areas and districts and hamlet areas. So we received these laws together, and then as the deputy majority leader, my majority leader was not around. He was not on seat. So it became incumbent upon me to now present the communication from the executive. And that was what I did. I was a deputy majority leader. If my majority leader is not around, I have to do that. So that was what I did. We received a communication from the government. I presented that in line with the tradition of the house. So effectively, that was what I did. And the records are there. You can go and check. The whole house considered it and passed it again. So it's not my private member bill. Like, for example, this bill I told you about, the Federal College of Education in Ningi and Adbulkadir. These are my private member bills. Like I passed. Okay, if you check my record boards, you'll see I have this donor partners a coordination bill which we passed. There are so many bills I presented. The investment and something. Okay, let me thank you very much. There was a time, let me use this opportunity to shed more light. There was a time I prepared a bill. I call it the Baptist Investment Promotion Agency bill. And the day I was supposed to present it, we received a communication from the executive also on that same agency, creation of that same agency, Investment Promotion Agency in Baptist. So I was advised that I should, since the executive has sent it, and it's going to be an agency and things like that, the consideration was that, okay, I should drop my own and allow that of the executive to go. I was taught, I was very bitter because I really worked hard on that, and it's one of the areas I have legislative interest. So I felt that I should do that, but we received communication from the executive. I had to drop down my own private member bill seeking to establish the Baptist Investment Promotion Agency. And we presented that of the executive, and it was also passed. So these are the kind of workings of parliament that I don't blame people, because even me, I didn't know this. I read political science, but I didn't know practically this how things work until I came up into parliament. So that was what actually happened. I presented it, I read it on behalf of the executive, seeking the approval of the House. And I'm not the House, I'm just a member of the House. And the House considered it and passed it. So that was what happened actually. And
thank you very much.
Information is everybody is at liberty to go and check our records, to scrutinize and see what actually happened and compare with what I'm saying. I believe there is nothing to hide about it.
I mean, you were just a messenger as far as that bill was concerned. That's the point you are making. And now you are a messenger of your people again in the House of Representatives. You know, we wish you well, Honorable Abdullahi Abdullahi. We want to thank you for your time. I would have been very happy to ask you the question about financial autonomy for state legislatures and the judiciary. That is quite an issue in the public domain. You know, we're running out of time and the audio has not been very friendly. We'll be happy, I believe, EIA and IAGA, other people would be happy at some point to continue this conversation with you. For us, what we want to see is a deepening engagement between parliamentarians and citizens. You know, at other people, we had come up with an initiative to respond to the constraints of COVID-19, online parliamentary engagement Nigeria. So there are several windows of engagement that members of the legislature can latch onto to connect with constituents. And so we're happy with this initiative. I must congratulate and commend EIA and its partners for this. And we thank you for finding the time to join us on this episode. If you have any other thing to say, finally, we're happy to hear you as we like to say goodbye to everyone who has found the time to join us for this meeting. Honorable Abdullahi, you want to say a final word?
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to. I wish it was more participatory than it is. I wish the audio quality is better than we had. But like you said, there is God willing, there will always be another time. But on a closing note, the last things you asked about, I wish we had raised them earlier on, because, like I told you, I was part of the State Assembly in the 8th Assembly, and I participated in the constitutional review process. Even that time, the speaker, the majority leader, and a female legislators were usually part of the committee constituted by the National Assembly, this interparliamentary committees. So that time too, my speaker was not around, he was unhatched, and my majority leader was not around, he was unhatched too. So the deputy speaker represented the speaker, and myself, I represented the majority leader. You see, this is how parliamentary works. That's linking you to the issue of that bill the guy asked. So I had to be representing the majority leader, and I came to Abuja. There was a conference organized by Clark at the Transcorp, and from there we went to Yola. We took position on a lot of issues, and from then we agreed on the modalities to be used, and we went back to our various individual state houses of assembly, and I'm very happy I'm part of that history. And the both state houses of assembly, when we are voting on the items that were sent us by the National Assembly for ratification, issue of state, what do you call it, state legislative autonomy was one of those issues, and we voted in favor of that. We also voted in favor of local government autonomy, and we did it, we relayed it live on TV. So we voted for the age reduction, that is where our association with IADA started. We voted for a lot of things that were seen to be pro-people. Both states of assembly, I thank God I'm part of that history, because even before we came to that level, we had to source for money for members to go and engage with our constituents and read out the bills that were the bills that were sent to us by the National Assembly. Last time they did it in it was not like a simple constitutional review bill. It was they brought about series of bills because of the bitter experience they had the previous time when a refusal to assent the bill rendered the whole exercise they did into futility. So that in the last exercise they did bill by bill, so that each bill, once assented, will become part of the constitution. So now the bills we will receive, we went to our constituents. I remember I went to India and I went to Bora. I was representing Bora from the local government state assembly, and myself and my colleague from India went to the headquarters. We gathered people in the secretariat, even people, different people, Union of Transport Workers, Nigerian Union of Teachers, local government employees, Christian Association of Nigeria, Jamaat Islam. It was a big turnout because we were announcing it on radio. People now became interested. These are the kind of engagement that we're talking about, that we should be having regularly in our country. People came and they gave us our ideas. If I tell you one thing, you'll be surprised. When I went to my conference, we finished the one in Ningi, and people told us, because there was a proposal in the constitutional amendment to strip the president of his immunity, and people told us that that being president is not an easy thing. So you have to keep that immunity for him. And whether we like it or not, and I promise myself, whatever my constituents ask me to do from that discussion, from that engagement, I will definitely do it. Now, it was that we should retain immunity for the president of government. And we did that. They told us they want local government autonomy. And I said, even at one point, I'm going to vote for local government autonomy, because that was a kind of another pact we had with the people. Apart from the mandate they gave us to represent them and represent their interests, we now came on this critical exercise of constitutional amendment, and we sought their views, and they told us their views, and we aggregated their views, and I promise whatever outweighs the other. That was what I was going to do, and that's what I did. The issue of parliamentary immunity. Now, when we presented it to them, they rejected it.
Honorable Abdullahi,
I'm presented again. They refused. I believe you, me, Mr. Oke. Believe me, when I came to vote on the floor of the State Assembly, I voted against parliamentary immunity. But at the end of the day, it's clear to. But for me, my conscience was clear because I voted what my people asked me to do. So we really, I don't want to blow my trumpet, but honestly, on that issue of constitutional review, the eight legislators of assembly, we really did well. We voted for local government autonomy. We voted for independence of state legislature. And this thing, I am surprised that it has even reached this level without coming into force. But thank God the president has signed the executive order. Whether the executive order is constitutional or not, that is a different discussion.
Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish.
I think he has given it some. I think yeah, state assembly should have autonomy, financial autonomy, just like we have at the federal level, and also judicial, because these are actually arms of government. You cannot control the finances of one arm and expect it to be independent. It doesn't work like that, you know. So by giving them this autonomy, by taking their money from first line charge, I think it will do a lot of good for the for democracy. It will do a lot of good for our people, because now we will have the excuse that we are having before. The governors have pocketed the state assemblies. It's no longer there. What is due to them will go to them directly. So, and now it is really time for some serious business at the level of state houses of assembly in this country. Thank you very much.
Honorable Abdullahi, I wish I'd asked this question earlier because it's bringing out a lot of energy in you that I'm sure our participation, our viewers and listeners would like to hear more. But like I said, this conversation would continue at some point and in some way. We want to thank you on behalf of EIA and IAGA for your time and for the passion that you have shown in providing service to the people of Ningi Waji Federal Constituency. And we believe that there will be moments to appropriately unveil your stewardship and receive feedback from the people, like you noted. We wish you well in the House of Reps, and we wish you well, and please stay safe as you continue to observe all of the guidelines and safety regulations for COVID-19. Once again, thank you, and please do have yourself a good evening, and God bless you, sir. To our listeners and our viewers, all of those who have participated, we want to say thank you. We wish we had more time. We wish it could have been better with the audio, but this is a new territory for everyone. These are uncharted waters of technology and all of that. It will get better with time, and by the grace of God, COVID-19 will be out of the way and we'll be back to our lives in a, I'm sure, better fashion. Thank you, everyone. And on this point, I would like to say goodbye and hope to see you some other time. Thank you.